Araxxor is set to release tomorrow, so today we're going to go over everything you need to know before release. To kick things off, you will need an Araxyte task in order to take on the boss, as well as there will be a 92 Slayer requirement. As for specifics when it comes to mechanics, obviously we will have to wait till tomorrow for the release. But as a slight sneak peek, we do know this is probably going to be the hardest existing Slayer boss in the game. But at the end of the day, it is still a Slayer boss, so it does not rival things in difficulty like the Colosseum or DT2 bosses. And when it comes to a couple early insights, we do know this is going to be a melee-focused encounter. And there are going to be a couple of ways you can alter the difficulty of the fight yourself. You can choose to proactively deal with the Araxxor minions, making your fight a little bit longer by killing them before they hatch, but ultimately it does make the fight easier to deal with. Or you can leave all of your focus on Araxxor itself, let them set themselves loose, making the fight itself faster, but you will have to survive their onslaught. But now let's move on to the real reason you're here, and that is the rewards. To kick things off, there will be a brand new Araxxor themed Slayer helm, which will be made with a new untradeable drop of the Araxyte head. There will be a new pet, as you can see by the right side of this graphic, and then the final untradeable drop will be a jar of Venom. This jar will work identical to all the other existing jars in the game from other bosses, but unlike the others, you will have to get this one yourself rather than just being able to buy it off the Grand Exchange. And on the flip side of the drop table, and depending on what kind of PVMer you are, probably the more exciting side, and this is the tradable rewards. A couple of the more common variations are going to be teleport scrolls that take you directly to the Araxxor lair, and then also the Araxyte Venom Glands. These Venom Glands are a consumable item that will deal you 4 Venom damage, but also cure and provide 20 seconds of immunity to Venom. Regardless, the more exciting use for these new Venom Glands is using them to make the new Extended Anti-Venom Plus potions. These potions will require 94 herb lore to make, and rather than providing 3 minutes of immunity to Venom, these potions will bump it up to 6 per dose. But as for bigger rewards, the first one we have is the Aranea Boots. And these boots do offer tri-bridge stats, but maybe the more important aspect is the new secondary effect they offer. There is a 10-second cooldown, but these boots will grant you immunity to the next web attack that you walk on, either saving you some energy at Venenatis, preventing something like the Arachnis web, or even saving you from a punishing mistake at Verzik. Not to mention the potential way these could also make a big difference at Araxxor that we don't even know a mechanic for yet. The next reward we have is the Noxious Halberd, requiring 82 attack to wield and offering DPS slightly worse than that of a Blade of Saldor. It'll be a 5-tick weapon, also offering some additional range you can attack from, and with a fairly unique special attack itself. The Halberd was initially created as a DPS weapon, but it won't be a best in slot contender, but it also offers some potential niche uses. And as for the special attack, it will require 50% of the spec bar, it'll cure you of any poison or venom, and it'll then buff your next attack to a minimum hit equal to how severely you were poisoned. Most likely not very useful, but potentially a back pocket weapon. But as for a secondary effect, you will have a 33% chance per swing to inflict venom on the target, and this also jumps all the way up to a 50% chance when used in conjunction with the Serp Helm. And depending on what boss you are ultimately fighting, this could be the massive DPS bump to make it more comparable with some other weapons. But now for the final tradable reward we have, and probably the most anticipated, we have the Amulet of Rancor. What will now be the best in-slot melee amulet in the game, boasting plus 25 in all attack accuracies, 12 melee strength, and plus 2 in prayer. The amulet itself will require 90 HP in order to equip, and depending on what type of account you're playing on, you also might need a crafting requirement. Araxxor itself will not drop the Amulet of Rancor as a drop, it will instead drop an untradeable item similar to probably what the DT2 bosses have with Vestiges, and you'll need 86 crafting and an Amulet of Torture to combine it in to make it a tradable Amulet of Rancor. But with that, that is everything you need to know about Araxxor and its brand new uniques before release. If you guys did enjoy the video or found it helpful, consider dropping a like, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.